Jokes, you gotta go. You gotta go. This is human stuff. Dogs, they don't understand podcasts yet.
Oh, there we go. Now I can.
No, this doesn't involve you. We can't do this right now.
Sorry, Duffel Puffle, you gotta walk away on this one.
This is actually the Jovi, the Joves.
Oh, Jovi, it's a different dog.
There's two of them.
There's two dogs. LA5 with his two pups.
KG3. Yeah. They are quite lovely. I'm dog sitting at the moment.
Oh, very nice. And how is your day been so far with the dog sitting?
Well, it's extremely easy because these dogs they like to adventure on their own. They don't stay in the yard. They've kind of just give them full parameters to run everywhere they want. Neighbors don't like it, and sometimes it gets them in trouble. But overall, they're okay. They're great pooches. They're very nice, and
Yeah, I
they also
believe it.
just have kibble. So it's literally just let them out in the morning, let them back in at night. Kibble and bits, everything fits. And
That is wonderful for a dog. Now,
okay.
you had oh, they're fighting.
Yeah,
It's
that's
time.
Duffel. He likes to talk about it.
Oh,
But if I ignore them, everything will be okay.
wonderful. Now you had mentioned something.
This is my life right now. I don't know what to tell you.
It's awesome. It's these headphones are bizarre. They always want to pick up background noise more than the voice, so I hear the dogs so much. Oh man, they're having one heck of a conversation. Now, on to what we were discussing. You mentioned something very intriguing because you said, "Oh, I was just, reliving my whole life. Got to redo it all." And it's interesting because I just thought that the other day, simply because I had a childhood memory pop in my head, just something to do with school, and I started to think, man, there's so many days, so many hours and experiences that we've had. To relive them right now would clearly take the entire time that you've now been alive, but even to try and remember it is such a monumental task because that we have like flashes of so many memories. We have our whole lives like locked up here all over, right? But if you try to like pinpoint and focus, there are certain things where it's like, I bet there's so much that truly is just lost to the ether when it comes to just like even what you've existed. Never mind all the things that we can never discover and know and learn because there's just so much to experience. But within this lifetime, within the lifetime, it's not even just the fact of the future. In the future, we can't experience everything. Even from our past, we can't remember everything.
Oh man, the amount that we have missed when it comes to retention and actual awareness in the moment is outrageous. I'm talking about 0.0004%.
Yeah.
Every single second, the subconscious mind, it's taking in roughly 11 million bits per second and it's processing that action. But guess what? Our attention, it's only processing 44 bits per second. 44 bits
It's
out
just
of
so much.
11 million.
It's so few from so much.
But you know what's amazing about that though? It makes
Lay it
that
on me.
44 bits extremely important and extremely powerful because those 44 bits sets the tone for the rest of the 11 million bits.
I will agree with you on it is very powerful. Important, sometimes I feel like I remember the wrong things.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean in regards to like how we're going to experience the moment. The 44
true.
bits is able to dictate that. It's able to set the tone almost, or set the temperature almost like a thermostat kind of a thing. And with memories, that makes me wonder, okay, well, when I was a teenager, I didn't have a very good attitude. My attitude was pretty abysmal. I was very just disconnected, just kind of like trying to get through the day and just, not a positive individual. But you know what? It was not because of circumstances. I was on 4 vacations a year, going tropics, going to cruises, going to Disney World, going on biking trips, going
You're
on
just
camping trips, canoe trips, doing all kinds of stuff. But my attitude was one that said, "Oh yeah, hanging out with my sister again. Oh no, I got to endure this. Oh, this is brutal.
what and
All right."
where do you think that actually came from though? Like it's like now that like you're far removed from your teen years, what was it looking back at it? What like when you talk to yourself and like kind of like understand yourself, what was it that made you kind of have that attitude, you think? Or do you know?
There is a lack of understanding as to like what is actually going on and how amazing my experience actually is. I think that experience is very relative. It's very the mind loves to compare what was experienced and then what is experiencing right now. And that's why I think some things can be so extremely powerful, such as uh, deprivation, intentional deprivation of something, then you go back to something and it just tastes so much better. Or even just like something as simple as like a dopamine reset. Have you heard of like a baseline dopamine level where you got to do a dopamine detox just from, for example, scrolling and stuff like that? You get all those little dopamine hits. You get like watch some videos on YouTube and it's like, oh yeah, getting all the dopamine. But then your baseline is so high that you're not able to actually trigger significant amounts of dopamine in everyday life and it becomes very mundane. But
I
when you
feel
take a
that.
break and you don't do all those little dopamine hits, suddenly the mind becomes more sensitive to producing that dopamine for the little things and they can be appreciated that much easier.
I like that. That's a very good one. That's one that a lot of people need to hear, myself included. Just that the mindless scrolling, and it's yeah, and because there's a lot to it where you do it almost out of habit, but it is a dopamine thing. Like there's the chemical firing in your brain going like that. Yeah, even if what you're looking at in your frontal like thoughts, you're like, this is like I'm so bored. I'm not even seeing anything good. I'm just scrolling for the sake of scrolling. There is that chemical going. This is good. This is what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Ah,
And so much of it I think is just interpretation too, how we interpret the moment. Like back in my teenage years, I wasn't seeing the magnificence of anything. I was simply just, I don't know, I would say existing and waiting for time to pass. I didn't realize the value of what's taking place in any given moment. And I didn't really understand the importance of connection and the importance of being able to just live in a state of liberated from fears and stress and worries and all these different things by being extremely present and by being extremely grateful for everything that I'm experiencing in this moment. Because had I had the ability to actually appreciate all of the incredible things that I was experiencing, I would have had amazing times. But I just let those amazing times kind of drift by me because I didn't have an attitude that was enabling me to actually take in the goodness. I was missing it. My 44 bits, they weren't focused on the good stuff. They were focused on how much of this do I need to endure when it comes to such and such and such, which was not even true anyway.
isn't that fascinating? Actually, just I can relate to that in the sense of seeing something from just a perspective that isn't one that actually is beneficial. You're looking at the perspective from such just to the detriment. Yeah, which is and I wonder how much that is like maybe even just like a survival mechanism in a way, or preservation. I don't know. It's interesting that because like it's like you're sitting on the beach. It's sunny out. It's a beautiful day, and you're just thinking, I'm hot. God, I could be indoors right now in AC. And then you go into the AC and you look outside and you're like, Should have stayed at the beach. Look how good it is out there. It's just you're always looking at the opposite side. It's like the grass is always greener. That's what it is. That's where it's at. I bet that's where that phrase comes from for sure. Is that type of mentalities. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Speaking of-
yeah, and then
yeah.
it's the voice inside of the head, the narrative of the mind.
Yeah.
And one very easy way to discern whether or not that voice is being beneficial and helpful or not is the information relevant to what's in my moment in truth right now? Because if it is, well, there's a good chance that that's a good voice to entertain and keep on going with, because at least it's relevant to the information at hand. But it's almost instantly disqualified if that inner voice is trying to talk about what should have, could have, would have, or if I do this, and it has nothing to do with what's actually taking place right now.
Amen to that. How often I feel I don't near as much as I used to, but like I was just home with family and just the idea of so like just certain people were so worried about how a certain event was gonna go. But it was just like all the worrying, you're just putting all this extra energy and thought into this worry when once it was happening and it's done, anything that you were concerned about or worrying about, even if it did happen, was irrelevant to everything leading up to it. The event was going to take place. You were going to go. So trying to like maneuver an outcome or be concerned of an outcome is so irrelevant, and that's in any situation really. And there is a difference between preparation and worry, anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because preparation, you're walking in feeling like like are going to be okay, but to walk in with a constant sense of if this, what if, oh no, it doesn't serve you in any way. Unless it's again, it's a means of preparation, where it's okay. If this happens, I'm going to this, which is different because that's again, it's a preparation, and I wasn't hearing much of that. But at the same time, in the end, it all worked out from how I saw it. Very lovely, It would just You gotta let events just kind of unfold and prepare for them, but don't worry about them because worry doesn't no good for you.
And more often than not, the conclusion of them just tends to surprise us anyway. It's like, oh, I didn't see it coming that way. I didn't think it was going to resolve in that fashion. That's interesting. It surprises us. There's always a twist usually, and things go differently than we expect them to. And then it's like, oh, I didn't have to worry about it all along.
Yeah.
What a waste of mental bandwidth that was.
Yeah, it did. Well, and that's just what it is. It's that waste of that 44 bits. It's the waste of your 44 bits in those moments.
Oh, those precious 44 bits.
Those precious bits of the 11 million. Is it 11 million or 11 billion?
11 million.
Of the 11 million.
But you know what? I mean, that makes me wonder, okay, well, how can I be the best steward of those 44 bits? And I think we kind of hit on it already. At the very least, with one element, it has to be relevant to what's happening right now. Because all there really is right now, in this moment.
Yes.
The future, we're going to make decisions. We're going to make choices. We have hopes. We have dreams. We have a trajectory. We're moving towards something. And we're going to make maneuvers that help bring that future into being. But are those decisions and are those choices right now? Or are they sometime in the future? And I don't need to be concerned about that at the moment because something else is going on right now. Right now, I'm part of a really cool conversation. And so maybe I can just dedicate my 44 bits to just focusing on everything that I can contribute and get out of this conversation right now. So that's a good start. But at the same time, how else would I like to show up in this particular conversation? And I have discovered what people would call a life hack to do exactly that.
Hacking life into
KG3.
pieces.
Would you like to do an exercise?
Lay it on me. Let's exercise.
Okay, here's what I want you to do.
All right.
I want you to take a look around your room and get a lay of the land, and just memorize it to the degree that you could recreate it in your imagination, as if there's a camera in front of you, and you are now on a reality TV series, and you see yourself on TV, third person kind of view.
Welcome to KG3 Living with KG3. Special guest star LA5. LA5, tell us about this exercise. I have scanned my room and I see what I have. What do I do next?
Okay, just for the initial part, try closing your eyes. Close your eyes and now picture yourself in third person and see yourself very engaged and enthusiastic with this particular conversation that we're having right now.
Easy.
Notice your face, your facial expression. What is your face doing?
I believe I'm smiling now. Yeah. Now I'm laughing.
So, when you see yourself smiling in your imagination, do you feel anything evoked inside of you? Like, do you feel like any kind of like a little joy burst, a little bit of peace, or does it make you want to smile in real life?
It is exactly that. Actually, I feel actually a big bump here, like a very positive bump. Like it's like
That right there is the evidence and the proof that you have now set your thermostat. You have now set your goal and your intention of what you would like to bring into reality right now. So now you did it right there. The moment that is felt, now your job is to simply bring that into reality by emulating everything that you just experienced within your imagination, but now just let it become real in our conversation.
That's
and
beautiful.
So, what's really fascinating about this technique is it forces the mind to be completely present and intentional with what is trying to be accomplished. Because what we're trying to do is have a great conversation. But at the same time, we're hoping to also have a great time. So when you see yourself in that state of enthusiasm, you are noticing everything around you that's around you in real time, and you're evoking within yourself a version of yourself that shows up completely fearless, present, and ready to completely engage in the best to your ability with whatever it is that you're doing, in this case, a conversation. So that makes you perform to the best of your ability and be as hyper present as possible.
Wow. I absolutely adore that, man. That was really awesome. And you explained it very well, but like that walkthrough experience, that was such a light bulb on when you said like the smile. It's like you're when you're smiling in your mind's eye and then you started smiling for real. That connection, but yeah, just that feeling within the heart, just like it was the joy, the happy energy there. I want to test this out further. I want to do it so much more now.
So here's what I did today.
Yeah, it's manifestation essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's 100%.
It's real time manifestation, and it's working with what already is, as opposed to trying to call into being what we want. It's already working with what's here, and that's the best part of it, because it happens instantly.
Yeah, it did. That's very cool.
So what
Everyone at home, give that a try. It's well worth it.
What I did today is I downloaded an app that has a repeating alarm where you can set intervals as to when it vibrates silently.
Okay.
And I did that for every minute. And what I would do, every single time that it vibrated, that would be a reminder to simply go into my mind's eye and just see myself in that third person view, doing whatever I'm doing in a state of enthusiasm, fully engaged, and to the point where I'm enjoying it, where I just say, thank you, Jesus. I can genuinely say thank you, Jesus, for this experience, because it is a good gift. It's pleasant. I'm enjoying this, and I know that it's from you because you're the one that holds all things together. And I did this every single minute. And what I found happened was it forced me to be completely present and in a state of constant appreciation, which is something that I've wanted to solve for years now. Because in scripture, it says that we need to be, ideally, in a constant state of appreciation. It goes even further than that. It says that God's perfect plan for our lives through Christ is for us to be in a constant state of appreciation. Constant state.
That's right.
Outrageous. And then in Philippians, it says that don't be worried or double minded about a thing, but instead be saturated in prayer, letting your faith filled requests be known before God. Tell him every detail of your life, and God's peace will be with you in all things. Give him praise constantly and be in a continual state of appreciation. So the key is right there of appreciation. Let your thoughts always be of things that are worthy of praise. So what this does is it gives the mind a goal, and it gives the imagination the ability to stay present with everything that is, and then instantly translate that into our now moment, where we now feel appreciative and enthusiastic about everything that we're doing. And it can work as like an attitude check kind of a thing. And it works instantaneously. So as I did this today, I did it every single minute for a while, for hours, and it kept on working. It stopped my mind from trying to go down different narratives that weren't relevant to the moment.
That's a
and
big
it stopped me from even experiencing the mundane state for just everyday tasks.
How you said you did for hours? Did you set it for every minute for a couple hours?
Yeah.
How long
'Cause
did
it
you
just
think?
go-
How long did you go for?
For the first, I was also doing writing. I was writing the technique, the visualization process while I was doing this.
Okay.
And it worked for that too, because it brings out the best in you because you're visualizing yourself in a state of excellence, performing whatever task you're doing. So even if I was playing hockey, I would simply be seeing myself in my mind's eye, being the best God-blessed hockey player I could be in that moment and thanking Jesus in the process. So I'm in like this elated state of appreciation, which is even more powerful because that keeps stress and fear at bay. And stress and fear and anxiety is what takes down my athletic abilities, whether it's pickleball or hockey, tennis, whatever it is. If I'm worried about the result, my ability goes down. If I'm not worried about the result, I'm not even thinking about the result, I'm just appreciating the moment and the play and just the actual like game itself, my performance goes way up. So that's what comes out of us when we're in that state of just focusing on appreciation for the moment and letting go of the result and just being grateful for the experience of what's being gifted to us in the now kind of a thing.
That is, I love every moment of that. And I'm gonna jump on you. You said be the best God blessed hockey player, and now I gotta give a shout out and tell you a story about my little nephew Jacob. Because when I went home with family, a couple of years ago, I got him his first pair of skates, and so I got to watch him skate for the first, not for the first, I don't think it was for the first time, but I got to watch him skate, and just seeing him progress. And then my sister would send videos, my parents would send videos, and here we are. I want to say a year, possibly even a year and a half later, and he's now not just skating; he's in full hockey gear. He's got a stick, and wow, talk about the best God blessed hockey player. That little guy, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's gonna be good.
That whippersnapper.
He's a whippersnapper. He's the best. You should have seen. This is like, and everyone else says that it's good for his age. He's 6 years old. I just turned 6 at the start of the year here, and we were playing baseball in the yard, and he's not using the tee ball, or like the tee, like to hit off, right? We're tossing him the ball, and he is cranking them over our head, going across the yard. And the excitement on his face, you want to talk about being present and in the moment? Nothing better than watching a child. They are so present at all times, and there is something to learn from that, because the joy he gets from every moment, and even if he misses, we're like, that's all right, let's do another one. And he's just right there, ready for the next one. He misses, he even laughs at it. He's just like, I missed. Like, it is awesome. It's awesome too. And there's another one. I was just kind of like throwing balls up and hitting it to him, and he had his hat he didn't have a glove. I don't know why we didn't give him a glove, but it doesn't matter. We're hitting balls to him, and I hit a tennis ball, and it might have been a little too hard, and it just smacks him right in the chest. But he goes like this, and he catches it, and he goes, "Ow!" But everyone around's going, "You caught it, Jake!" Yeah, and he goes, "Ow! Yeah, I did!" And just how his intention goes straight away from like his chest to now. Wait, yeah, the ball is like I'm in my possession. I caught it. I finally caught it. And then that became his focus. That's how you use that 44%. Even in the moments of pain, there is the 44 that can go towards the glory.
It sets the tone.
It sets the tone. It sets the tone. Ah,
That's
he's the
brilliant.
best. He is so funny. Just the best little guy. You know. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
Now,
that's funny. Yeah. So is he your nephew?
yes, nephew, my sister. I have one older sister, and it is her son. And he's
Huh.
6 years old, and just I we say it all the time. We are a lucky family when it comes to him because he is just a ray of sunshine. Like he has his moments, of course. He's a kid, but in
Oh, I
general,
remember you.
he is just he's so polite. He's friendly. He's always laughing and always smiling. It's it's quite the experience watching this little guy grow up, and I'm a proud uncle.
I
Yeah,
remember you talking about him actually on our walks.
yeah, yeah.
As soon
He's
as you said Ray of Sunshine, I'm like, oh yes, that guy.
oh yes, Ray of Sunshine. I forgot his first name. Yeah, yeah. I was lucky enough to go home for about 8 days and got to spend a lot of quality time with family. Got to go to an anniversary, which was the event that we were talking about previously, that people were worrying about, but ended up being what I take again. It's what I take away from it. I take away that my 44% was, it was amazing to be able to see my grandparents still so happy and united after 65 years together. And through anything that anyone is going through on the sense of family drama, everyone showed up on all the kids, grandkids, great grandkids, everyone showed up and was there to support, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment to be able to share with them, and I was so happy to be there, especially for my mom. That's her parents, and yeah, I as much as I was happy to share that with my grandparents, I just was so happy to share that with my mom because my mom helped so much in helping like in setting up the event and getting things prepared and ready. So it was really cool to be able to be there with her. And then my dad did the emceeing, and yeah, of course my sister and her guy was there, and Jake, and yeah, and then yeah, just getting to see cousins and family. Family's fun. It's fun being able to just be around family again, being home. It was a good 8 days. Yeah, and while away, that's when. What are your thoughts on the shooting? Obviously terrible, but crazy.
Intriguing.
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard. There's been this video that's been circulating around big time about this guy. He's bald. I'm not sure what his name was, but he was on a podcast or some kind of interview back in April, and he had a dream that he talked about back in April. And in this dream, he saw Trump get shot in the right ear.
Wow.
And then this dream, it progressed and it actually went on into the fall, September and October, sometime around there. And it showed a global economic collapse that was worse than anything that history has ever been recorded of having. But right when it looked like all hope was lost, that's when suddenly there's actually a complete turnaround and the world was spared from a depression and a new digital system was installed. And Yeah, I think his sense was that XRP was in the middle of it, of this particular system. And I know that the BRICS nations have affiliations with Ripple, and I
That's
know
right.
that Ripple is also, embedded across the entire traditional system worldwide. So it has the ability to be that flip the switch moment. So that's entirely possible.
Yeah,
And but
that's
you know what I think
fascinating.
is even more interesting than that?
Let's hear it.
I think it's more of the evidence that things are now changing. Things there we're
Yeah.
into this new phase of the cycle where there is purpose in the last 3 years, and I think that purpose was actually exposure. I think a lot of things
100%.
were allowed to happen because even though it caused some damage and some very unfortunate things, it was necessary to expose all the different hidden evils in society and in the world and in our systems, most importantly. Because now, once those things are exposed, then they can be properly dealt with and supplanted.
Yes.
And so, in that phase of exposure, it seems like we're alone. It's like, where's God in this? Why is he allowing this to happen? And I think it's because it's necessary for the exposure to first be known so that then the people can be empowered to then supplant those particular positions that are in our systems so that we can have a harmonious world. And now, with that rally being an example where, in all sense and purposes, Trump should be dead. I mean, that's a very small
Such a
little
small
measure.
window. Exceptionally
So that,
small window.
yeah, it's easy to see that as a miraculous event and possibly divine intervention to some degree. And it could be marking the moment as to when we are actually now stepping out of the phase of exposure and into the phase of replacement. And in this phase of replacement, that's when these powers, call them the deep state, call them whatever they try, they're only going to be hanging themselves with the rope.
Yeah,
It's
because
going to
they're revealing
backfire.
themselves. Yeah, all they're doing is putting themselves. I said that from the beginning when it comes to COVID, because right when it happened, I was I had such anxiety because I had read so much about how there was going to be a global situation where they were going to force vaccinate everyone, and I read about that back in like 2014, 2015. So when that first happened, I was like, I was like, oh no, it's happening. The world's going down. It's all going to happen. And COVID, as much as it sucked for many different reasons, was nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. I pumped it up to be something so much more horrendous in my mind. And for some, it truly was. And that's, I'm not taking away from anyone else's experience, but from my own. What I ended up having instead of falling into this totalitarian world, I had a revelation of how much the people who are in charge, the deep states, the puppet masters, those type of people, these people are losers. Like they're not terrifying at all. They're just cowards behind suits and they got lots of money, that's for sure, but at the same time, like, go away. Like, they have absolute. For as much. They have. I want to or it's like they may think they have so much power, but their influence is actually just so gross. It just
Mm.
feels wrong. It feels wrong, and I see people also believing that more and more. I don't see people so much in fear anymore as I see people fed up. And that is a good thing if it is managed properly. And I do believe it will be. I think what you stated is also something that has been planned for a long time, which we've discussed. We've discussed it for a long time. The new system is already in place, but they need a situation to make it turn on. And there will be I will call it a controlled demolition of the world we have been watching die for the last little bit. And I don't think that anything from the world that we live in now is like it's all going to just be crumble and fall apart and we're back to the Stone Age, nothing like that. I think what we are moving into is going to be a very interesting merging era because there will be those trying to still have a power and control over everything. However, I think there is more of the opportunity to be a decentralized world, and that is a wonderful thing. So there's no parasitic entities controlling and grabbing everything. It's everyone is their own automaton, and it truly is just a world where we all can keep progressing. And I think I truly believe we're progressing into a better world because it demands it. Survival demands it. And God demands it. That's what God wants. And I believe we are heading towards that. We're heading more towards a unification of spirit and um, a decentralized being of economy and autonomy. Yeah.
Concurred. And where I think that there's a little bit of evidence in that, just as like a thought experiment kind of a thing, like the way that I see how we function is we receive some type of a spirit, and then we make choices and decisions based on the thoughts from that spirit that's in our heads. And there's lots of different spirits, but for those who belong, and for those who are good-hearted people that just want good things for people, we're all made in the image of God. So every single human has a thirst for love because God is love. So that's just the default type of a desire that we're going to want to be moving toward is love and harmony. We can be deceived by different spirits that say, well, the only way you're going to get what you want is if you control. If you control the outcome, then you're going to be able to ensure happiness for yourself and for a select few others as well. But you might have to make the hard decision to make that happen. But hey, someone's got to make the hard decision. One's about control. Love is always about freedom. Always. It never demands its own way. And so the amount of people that just want freedom and goodness and harmony for others, it's a lot of us. And you know what? Ever since Jesus came 2,000 plus years ago, his teachings, his spirit, and his kingdom, it's been growing. It's stronger now than it's ever been. There's more Christians around the world than there ever has been. And Christians who are true are by default meant to be humble. They're meant to be loving. And they're meant to be in a space where they just want good things for people. And I believe that there's more of those people now than there ever has been. And so when you have more and more of those good-hearted people who are receiving the Holy Spirit, and they're infiltrated all throughout the different systems of the world, that just means that they're going to be receiving God's thoughts to then receive his strategies, which will move those people into those positions of power, which then supplants the other darker power positions that were previously filled there with people who were deceived into thinking that they had to control everything and control the outcome. And it's meant to be a display. It's just like it said that in the coming ages, we, as in me and you, the people of every child of God, we're going to be an open display of his grace and his kindness. So that means that we're going to be victorious. We're going to be the ones that are actually demonstrating how great it is to actually be part of his kingdom, to be part of his ways, to be part of his story and part of his destiny that he's made for all of us. And he only gives good gifts. It says that we come to him in a glorious manifestation of his goodness. And we're made more than conquerors. And, since he is the cohesive force that holds together the entire universe, and he wrote the beginning to the end before the beginning even started, well, he's got full control of the script. He's the one that calls the shots. And not just that, he's holding the entire set together. And
Yeah.
not just that, he's hired the entire production team. And no matter what any other person may want, he's got final cut. He's got final say in the end. So what he says goes. And if his people are here and his kingdom is growing, he's going to be using his people to bring his kingdom. So essentially, we are kingdom bringers, which means we bring heaven to earth. And there's more of us now than there ever has been, which means cycle through cycle through cycle, we're going to be bringing and manifesting more of heaven on earth than it has in the previous cycles. So we go through all these little microcycles. We go through the exposure. We go through the supplant replacement phase. And then we rinse and repeat until it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And we're at the point now where there's been so much exposure that change is inevitable. It has to happen. The world is too informationally connected now. The fact
Is
that
it
we
ever?
know that we even have wind of all of this, and we're just two guys out of millions who also understand this, change is inevitable. It's coming. It's predestined, and it's going to be a open depiction of his goodness, his grace, and his kindness, and his power, so that all the glory and the credit goes to him. So yeah, the world's not going to burn in shambles right now. We're still here.
Yep,
It's going to rise. It's going to rise into something beautiful.
it will. There's going to be lots of threats of it, though. There's going to be constant threats of its destruction, but that's been happening since the beginning of time. Since man could convince someone else of something, they've always said, the end is nigh.
Mm.
And it's always coming. And there always is an end, because there's always a beginning. And that's just like what you just said, it's the secular cycle. Just constantly evolving and changing, but expanding and growing in intelligence, consciousness, and love. And we are moving into a better world. I always believe that. And I believe that because I personally feel myself always becoming better internally. And when I feel myself becoming better internally, I see the world around me becoming better. And there's something beautiful to that too. Like whenever you are open to experience, to change, to love, to God, to the happiness of others, you truly do expand. There is something beautiful to that. I forget where I heard it, but it was just today. I heard someone say on something I was listening to, if you want to stop being depressed, then devote your life to making those around you happy, because that will start to make you happy. Because that is how you make yourself happy, by making the world better, by making your surroundings better. The world is always going to be in chaos. There's always, or I shouldn't say the world is, but there will always be chaos, just as there will always be peace amongst the chaos and chaos amongst the peace. The yin to the yang. We've talked of this before. And it's beautiful. It's always just, yeah, that 44%, man. That 44 bits. You just got to focus on it. Those 44 bits, make sure that those are focused in the right direction. And if they're always in a direction that you got to smile like the one you have right now, you know you're in the right direction.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that reminds me of a concept that I've been really dwelling on lately and hoping that it turns into something miraculous in the sense that, it can basically has the potential to exponentially increase people's quality of life just by making a quick little mental shift. But the foundation for that mental shift it's pretty substantial. It's a lot of different scriptures because there's a lot of beliefs that need to be energized in a certain way to allow the perception to be real. But once the perception and the lens is formed, those 44 bits per second, they perceive every single detail of our experience as a good gift. something that is not only invaluable in how it's changing us into something incredible, but also just the overall enjoyment that's being offered through each and every little experience. Now it can be fully accessed because there's always there, but often we don't have the capacity or the awareness to actually interact with all the good things that are in our moment. Our mind thinks of other things. It doesn't zero in on the great little details that are so rewarding and pleasant to interact with. Like, for example, if my mind was completely convinced that every little detail of my experience was tailor made by the Most High for me personally as a good gift, that would then by default mean that every single person that I converse with and every single person that I interact or even acknowledge, I would have love for that person because they would be instantly registered as a good gift from the Most High, from God Himself. That person right there, you, KG3, you are a tailor-made good gift for me to experience. And so I'm going to have love for you because you're literally just like this incredible, like handcrafted from God Himself gift, supplanted, put into my life to be of great value, more value than I can actually understand in right now, but incredible amounts of value, not just like eliciting good times, but actually shaping me into something so much more profound than I can even understand. And
Those are
that's
some
you.
beautiful words.
So I'm gonna have love for you automatically. I'm never gonna judge you. I'm never going to think that I need to change you. I'm just going to receive you and accept you and appreciate you for the good gift that you are because I'm perceiving you as a good gift from the Most High. And I believe it's true. So it becomes automatic. It becomes
I
automatic for every single person, even the darkest of individuals. I'm going to be able to perceive them as a good gift because they're put into my life for a great purpose that is helping my transformation, that is causing me to become more into the image and likeness of Christ, which then gives me so many more rewards in the future, eternity of rewards. So the value that even the darkest person in the world has within my story is incredible. And even that is a good gift.
They
Even
have
if it's
value.
something, even if it's someone that directly harms me, that teaches me how to forgive. Maybe I don't feel that right away. Maybe I gotta like really be developed to get to that place where I can actually see it as a gift of teaching me how to forgive. But the moment that I actually learn how to forgive because of that, that's massive. That makes me that much more bulletproof to all the different strategies that principalities can try and haunt me with to cause me to resent and judge people. But if I just have forgiveness, now I'm immune to judgment and condemnation towards others, which makes me so much more powerful as a human bringing heaven to earth for Christ.
Well, I can jump in and let you know that I truly feel blessed from the Lord as well to have you as my friend and to know you, and I love you too, buddy, because you are a wonderful individual. And I want to agree fully with you on the notion of anyone who can be perceived as an evil force, negative. They serve a purpose. Sometimes we don't understand what their purpose is, but it's because we're wanting to fit them into our narrative instead of understanding that it is just a part of the grand narrative. And one beautiful notion I feel is anyone who comes from a place of love and godliness wants the best for everyone. And anyone who is rejecting that notion and is coming from a place of control, I find it, you could almost smile and laugh at this fact because the people who are open and want good for everyone it's just that. everyone gets to participate, everyone gets to enjoy. And those who are trying to control, they'll never win. Even if it's momentary, they win battles, they don't win the war, you know? And even within those battles, they're still in this mindset where they have to constantly be concerned about what they think they need to control. And the beautiful part is, in the end, they will weep, not because they have lost, but because they'll realize that they could have just joined us the entire time because we were right. And what they were doing was just counterproductive to not just those around them, but to themselves. If what you do is on a constant sense of harm to others, you really aren't winning at all.
No, there's no winning there.
Yeah.
The only winning in a sense would be, someone's got to show who God isn't and what he's not about. Someone's got to do it, because that's part of the point of this experience, is to discover and to discern what God is and what God isn't, who God is and who God isn't. And so that means there's got to be willing participants on both sides. But you know what? In that moment where that person has that weeping and they have that moment of realization of that, we were right all along, the good side, that maybe was their predestined turnaround point that was inevitable anyway and was always part of the plan. And that's when everything shifts for them. And then, boom, they come home and they discover who they actually are.
Yeah. And everyone has their journey. Whether you reach it from an infant or you don't reach it till you're a senior, or maybe even within this lifetime you don't reach it at all. There's a journey, and there is a point to everything. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a purpose. And that's why you gotta use those 44 bits for good. You gotta focus on those 44 bits to build heaven on earth. Because those 44 bits can truly make life hell on earth for yourself as well. And that's why, and that's where freedom of choice truly comes in. You have the freedom of choice to guide those bits in the direction you want. And I want to bring it back to your exercise, because that was beautiful, and I want to bring it back because I hope anyone listening tries that. That was a beautiful experience, and I really advocate for that now. That's great, because it is that idea of being able to focus and build from the center out. Wonderful. Just wonderful.
That's the first time I've ever tried to lead anyone through something like that. So I'm so glad it actually worked. That you actually felt something.
Podcast is over. Glad it worked.
He actually ended it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna keep that going.
That has to be actually where we stopped. That is hilarious.